have taken you from the Imperial City's prison, first by carriage and now by boat, to the east, to Morrowind. Fear not, for I am watchful. You have been chosen.
Wake up. We're here. Why are you shaking? Are you okay? Wake up.
Morrowind has been a long time in the making. We've actually known about the game for a number of years, and we previewed it almost 2 years ago now. And the interesting thing is that pretty much all of the information from that long preview from a couple of years back still very much holds true. The game's design really hasn't changed since the beginning. It was always intended to be this big, sweeping, open-ended, yet at the same time focused, ultimate RPG that just about any role-playing fan could get into. The reason why Morrowind has taken so long in production is pretty evident upon playing it, and we've finally gotten our hands on a build and have spent a considerable amount of time with it recently. It's that the game is just simply huge, as advertised. They always said that they wanted to make this enormous game, and it really comes across that way right from the start. You step out into the world of Morrowind and you realize that you could either stay in town and go into all the houses and talk to all the people, or start walking north, south, east, or west and see where the roads take you, or just hop aboard what basically looks like a giant flea and it'll take you elsewhere much faster than you could actually walk. It's pretty incredible just stepping into the world of the game for the first time. There's just clearly so much that can be done. Bethesda doesn't want to reveal the exact details of how you create your character in Morrowind, but suffice it that you could play a huge variety of different types of characters. That said, they do basically fall into the fighter, magic user, or thief archetype, but within that you have a great variety of different skills you could use and improve either through practice or through training. And you also have a number of different special abilities that are based on your race and more. You can play the game entirely from the first-person perspective, although you can switch to a third-person view. The environments are completely seamless, loading times are quite minimal, and you can see very gradual transitions between the different types of areas and in different weather conditions and so forth. The look of the game is really quite impressive. It's just, you can see way off into the distance, and there's tremendous detail in the different types of places you'll explore. When you go into a bar in town, for instance, you might see that there's a ton of stuff just strewn all over a table, like candles and papers and so forth, and you could take or pick up any of this stuff, put it into your inventory, trade it with someone else. You could pick up just about anything that's not bolted down. So the great graphics certainly don't hurt Morrowind. A lot of RPG players are very quick to point out that, you know, graphics aren't everything. It's really the gameplay that's most important. And that's certainly true, but once you see Morrowind, I think you'll realize that it doesn't hurt for the game to look like this. From the beta build we've played, the game already looks pretty solid. There is a kind of a list of known issues that came with it, and those are all things that Bethesda is obviously working on, and who knows what else they're going to catch in that process. The company seems completely committed to not shipping this product until it's completely ready, and again, looking back to the years in development, it's clear that they're really doing their best to make sure that this game is everything they want it to be. It's just not worth shipping this thing before it's ready, considering all the time that they've put into it at this point. With all that said, Morrowind really does have the potential to be this be-all, end-all RPG, just the first-person, open-ended, huge role-playing game to end them all. It's a single-player only game, but it has the depth and the scope of one of those massively multiplayer games like EverQuest or Ultima Online, but the world isn't just filler, it's all handcrafted, it's all there for a reason, and it's just going to be one of those games that you could really, really lose yourself in for hours and for weeks and for months. The stakes are very high for Morrowind. It's the third game in a series that's nearly 10 years old now, so that's not that many installments of a series, considering it started way back in 1993. Bethesda's first Elder Scrolls game was called Arena, and then the 1996 sequel to that was called Daggerfall. The thing about Morrowind is it's not just a remake of Daggerfall. The developers have clearly learned some valuable lessons since that last game. Although it is going to be completely open-ended and huge, it's also going to be very focused and very accessible. The controls are very easy to pick up, the game looks great and sounds great, and it just walks you right through the first 10 or so minutes of gameplay so that you learn all the ropes, and then you can take it at your own pace from there. So not only is the game going to appeal to hardcore players, but it should also be as accessible as possible to players who've had less experience with the genre. Morrowind is feature complete at this point. The beta build we've been playing has pretty much everything in it, so we can already tell that this is a game worth being excited about, and it's only a number of weeks away, yet Bethesda is going to take all the time it needs in order to make sure that it ships in the best possible state. So until that time, it's worth getting ready, setting aside a lot of calendar time for Morrowind.